ॐ साईत्रयाय विद्महे संजय बाबाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईत्रयाय विद्महे संजय बाबाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईत्रयाय विद्महे संजय बाबाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सर्वविघ्नविनाशाय सर्वकल्याणहेतवे पार्वतीप्रियपुत्राय श्रीगणेशाय नमो नमः। मायादेवी प्रियपुत्राय श्रीसञ्जय साई नमो नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष साईश्वर रक्ष रक्ष जगदीश्वर रक्ष रक्ष महेश्वर। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Just Bhagwan Baba. With us today we have Brother Narayanan here for Sahi Mahima. He has got innumerable experiences with Bhagwan. He is an instrument to bring his parents, Appa and Amma, and his brother Kumar here at Thy Divine Lotus Feet. His entire family is at Thy Divine Lotus Feet at the moment. Here is a small video with him and his family with Bhagwan. Transpash Bhagwan Baba, Tvam Sharanam Mama.
Om Shri Sadguru Sainataya Namah. 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 Shri Sadguru Sai Nathaya Namaha.
Now presenting Brother Narayanan for Sai Mahima. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, everybody. Koti Koti Pranam. The divine lotus feet of my Lord and Master, Bhagwan Sri Sanjay Sai Baba. Are you able to hear me?
Ma.
You are able to hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, when I was asked to speak today, I was thinking what I should be speaking. And, I met Swami in December 2015 for the first time. And since then, I started a process of making a note of all my experiences with Swami. And I have had so many experiences with Swami, being with him, and even when without him, in many of my dreams. I dream of Swami almost in a month, at least 2-3 times at a bare minimum. And there are so many messages Swami comes and gives me in those dreams. And I make a note of all of that. And today my notebook on my experiences with Swami has gone to more than 65 pages. So I was thinking, what should I speak? What should I say? So what I did was I took some of those messages where Swami has given me a message, and we have actually lived that experience in that message with Swami. So if Swami gave me a message, it was through a process where we interacted, something happened, and because of that, Swami gave me a message. And each of those messages are very, very divine. But I thought before I speak about my experiences with Swami, I thought I will first speak Swami's words, what Swami told us, what Swami teaches us on bhakti, on thoughts, on our mind, how our heart should be. I think there is nothing more important than Swami's words. Our experiences are but just a measure, a process to reach his words and live his words. There is nothing more important than his words. So I thought I'll first speak Swami's words, and then I will speak about my experience. I hope this is okay. So I picked from all the discussions that I've had with Swami, with all the moments that I've had with Swami, I picked some of those key messages that Swami gave us on bhakti, on thought, on devotion, on pure love. And I'll first narrate that, and then I will speak about some of my experiences. So Swami says, my paradise is not Vaikuntham or Kailash. My paradise and palace is the devotees' hearts. Swami says, bhakti is feeling Swami in your heart and practice. Dedication to know that without God, I am not complete. On thought, Swami says, have a balanced thought from the heart and the mind. Setu Bandhan from the heart to the mind. Thoughts should merge to become one and pure. Swami can adorn the throne of your heart when your thought is pure. Be your Sarthi and ride the mind as the Rati and the body as the Rath. Swami says, devotion is ekagra, means one-pointedness. Swami says, be prepared to accept all challenges of life. Forget all complaints. Never think that Swami is ignoring you. When your mind is stable, Swami's signal will come. As devotion, Swami also says, As devotion evolves through stages, the faith of his devotees will go through a process of up and down. On prayer, Swami says, don't pray for what God can do for you. Pray for what you can do for God. When prayer becomes your habit, miracles become your subha. The prayers and devotion bubbling in you transforms into faith. And is ever pure. Don't be like the ocean that amasses and tastes salty. He says, don't be like the nala that stagnates and stinks. Look at everyone through the eyes of God. I once asked Swami, how to offer you pure love? What does that mean? What can devotees do? Swami in that discourse gave us 10 commandments. This happened when we used to have the Friday Viber satsang with Swami. Swami said, to offer me pure love, 1. Be truthful with full faith and surrender. Be in consciousness ever in the state of Namasmarana. Your duty should be full attention to your family. Do my mission's work as your own work. Make our relationship beyond giving and taking, means unconditional. Feel my presence everywhere. Be aware, don't do any mistakes, and if mistakes happen unknowingly, correct them. Keep me in your mind and your heart. Be aware of bad foods. Don't eat non-vegetarian food. Have only sattvic food. And keep smiling. That is the way to God. These are the 10 commandments that he gave. Sannidhi. We always think about Sannidhi. Swami very beautifully explained what Sannidhi is. He broke it into 2 parts. Swami said, San Nidhi. Sun means Sarva Shakti Ma ke Saath, means being with the ever powerful goddesses. Nidhi means dhan. Aisa dhan जो संसार में सबसे बहुमूल्य है, means there is nothing more valuable than that. So Swami says, sadhana is more important than sannidhi because our prayer brings us near to him. So sannidhi therefore becomes the biggest wealth. Swami said, earning sannidhi is simple, but holding it is very, very difficult. We got Sannidhi now. We have to do this Nidhi by sadhana. On unity, Swami shows us by speaking about Sutra and Sutradhar. He says, we are Sutras and should be in unison for the Sutradhar. Bhagwan says, I am the pearl and you are my Sutras. But again, I am the Sutradhar. It means Sabhi ke Aadhar. He is the foundation of every one of us. Sutron ke Aadhar, Sutradhar. About Kali Yuga and devotees, Swami says, nature of Kali Yuga will try to separate us from Swami. Swami says, you have to be like the fish that swims against the flow of the current, so it remains safe. If you go with the current and flow, you will be flushed out of the river. So swim against the flow, and no one can separate us from our Divya Sarovar, our divine river. Swami says, have attitude of forgiveness. Challenge the situation by chanting Namasmarana, swimming against the current of Kali Yuga. Then Swami says, Swami always speaks about Shabri and Meera and Arjun. So he said 3 things to us. Living with God like Arjun. Living for God like Shabri. And living in God like Meera. And Swami said, cultivate 7 qualities. If you cultivate these 7 qualities, you will know me. For number one, forgiveness, compassion, pity, daya, karuna, selfless service, love, divine love, bhakti, and egolessness. He says if you cultivate these 7 qualities, when these become part of you, you will start to understand. Finally, Swami says, one who does seva of avatar, their lineage is blessed like that of squirrel by Lord Ram. And he finally told us, भगवान को भगवान समझ के तो देखो, फिर देखना कितना मजा आता है. So with this, these are his words. With this, I will narrate some of my experiences. These experiences I will not live, I will not read, I will speak without reading, because they live in my hearts and minds. They live in the hearts and minds of my family and many of us who have been living with them through us. And these experiences are where Swami has given a message either directly or in a dream with a particular situation. Now, Sanchita said that, I met Swami and my family came here through me to Swami. But the reality is that the first person in our house who came in an experience with Swami is Shilpa, my wife. Many years ago, back in 1996, we went through a very difficult time in our life. So Shilpa, to stand against that difficult time, there was a place in our near where we lived, and it used to be called Sundaram. We heard that unke ghar mein vibhuti aata hai, and wo Satya Sai ke devotees hai. And we didn't know Swami at the time. We didn't know Satya Sai Swami at the time. We were living a normal life, like everybody else, and without knowing who an avatar is, who Satya Sai is. But Shilpa somehow thought that I have to go there regularly and have darshan and take vibhuti. So she used to do that. She continued that. I never went. Nobody from her family went. After 3 years, I went to the UK, and then Shilpa had to come back in 2000 for delivery of Abhishek. Abhishek is my son. I could not come. And Shilpa is a bit sensitive without me, in the sense how to go through that process and all of that. So she used to pray to Swami all the time. And when the delivery actually happened, she became very, very, very nervous. She called me from here to the UK. We spoke, but nobody could console her. No, not the doctor, not my mother, not her father. Even I could not. She finally prayed to Swami and said, Swami, now you have to be here with me, then I will be fine. She told me what she saw. After she had the delivery, when I spoke to her, she said, Ganesh, she calls me Ganesh. She said, Ganesh, I was perfectly fine. You know why? Because Satya Sai Swami was standing right in front of me in my room all the time that the delivery was happening. I didn't understand what it really meant, but I was happy that she was fine. I now understand what it means. After I came to Swami, what it all means, what is divinity, what is God, what is Guru, all of that, I really started knowing and understanding when I came to Swami. I was always a very pious person. I do a lot of chanting, a lot of praying, been through a lot of challenges in life. But what a guru is and what a guru can do to a person, I have lived and experienced that. I know what is the relationship between a guru and a disciple now. What is the words of a guru? Why a disciple can do anything because a guru says something. And why the words matter so much. So I'll start with my experience of coming to Swami. So I was doing my business, and in that process, in 2015 November, I happened to meet Chaitali Madam. Chaitali Madam is from Mumbai and she is a trustee of the trust, the Central Trust in Mumbai. I happened to meet her at her office. This was in November. While we were talking, she suddenly stopped the business discussions or whatever professional discussions we were having. And she told me that Swami is coming. So I want to invite you for the VIP dinner. And we were talking work. It shifted in a second and she told me Swami is coming and I want to invite you. I don't know what happened to me. Like a thunderbolt strikes you, something struck me at that moment, and she and I started tearing down at that moment. From that moment, we were nothing, we didn't speak anything, and tears started flowing from my eyes and from her eyes, as if like a connection is being made. So I asked who Swami is coming. She said Sanjay Sai Swami. I said who Sanjay Sai? Then she showed me the photo and she said Sai ke tisre avatar. But I said in Sai I know only Satya Sai Swami and Shirdi Sai. Then she gave me the background and she said I want you to come and your wife also to come. So then I said okay. And to be really honest, I wasn't sure how I would go there, what I would experience, and what it was. I wasn't sure. So on the day the meeting was happening, she called me again and she said, Narayan, you're coming, no? Then I said, yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming with my wife. When I met Swami for the first time, December 5th, 2015, he came and the first time, and there were only 30 people in the room, including the devotees and all the VIPs and everybody. If Swami finished the discourse and he gave darshans to everybody. So we all went one by one. When he saw me, the first thing he did was he touched my heart and he said, Narayan, काम तो बहुत करना है, लेकिन अपना तबीयत का भी ध्यान रखना है. And then he said, Kathmandu आ जाओ. So I said, okay. And then there were some other interactions. We left from there. And then next day there was Laksharchana on the 7th, on the day after next. So when I went there, one of the devotees, that is Gopal Mama, he told me that after you left that day, Swami was inquiring after you. So that is when I made the decision that I should go to Kathmandu. So 2016, January 17th, I landed in Kathmandu. There were only 6 devotees at the time in the ashram. Very, very few people. When I met Swami, I first did pranam. And then after that, Swami came to the ashram room and he asked, how was everything? And just before leaving, Swami materialized Vibhuti and he gave me. That was the first time I saw this materialization and I didn't know what to do. I just fell there right in Swami's feet and I took the Vibhuti, I ate it and I applied it. I did everything possible. The next day was youth program. So after the youth program, Swami called us to the interview room. So I got a chance to sit right in front of Swami's feet. I don't know how, but they asked me to sit right in front of Swami's feet. And suddenly the Pad Puja discussion started coming for July Guru Purnima. Now this is January, July Guru Purnima. Then Preetiji was sitting next to me on this side. Somebody then asked, who will do Pad Puja of Swami in July this time? Preetiji just said, Narayan can do. Swami immediately said, Narayan and his wife will do Pad Puja. I'm already now starting to lose myself. I don't know what is happening. What is all this? I'm doing Pad Puja of Swami. What bhagyam I have got. I could not fathom all this. And I was thinking about all that. And then we finished that whole satsang. And as we were going, Swami caught me as we were standing. And he materialized this ring and he gave me. I was like, no, just think, 2 days I've met Swami. First day I get Vibhuti. Second day he is telling me that July you have to do Pad Puja with your wife. Then he gives me this ring. I don't know which world I am in. I am just out of that world at least. Then after that, at 7 o'clock, Swami comes to the room to have satsang with us. Now we are only 6 people in the room. So we are sitting 3 people on each row. There is nobody else. Swami in that chair and 3 people sitting in that row. I am sitting at one of the rows. I am the third person. Now there is light. You all know that room. We all have been in that ashram room. There is light. Swami is sitting. Only 6 people are sitting. Suddenly what happens is, I ask a question to Swami. After about 20-30 minutes of the satsang, I ask a question to Swami. And Swami is answering that question. So he's looking at me and he's answering the question. I'm looking at him like this, sitting like this, and I'm listening to him. There are only 2 people sitting here and there are 3 people sitting here. Suddenly in front of my eyes, the whole vision starts blanking out, which means I am now losing sight of everybody. I am losing sight and sense of anybody in the room. I am losing sense and sight of even the light. And the whole light comes down to about 10% vision only. So I feel there is not light in the room, but I can only see Swami. Then what I see is an aura around Swami. So an aura that is building around Swami. It is slowly growing all over him and then over his body and everywhere. But the glitter of the aura is so much to my eyes that I'm not able to see. So I'm blinking and I'm seeing, I'm blinking and I'm seeing. Then my eyes is not able to take that the spirit of that vision so much intense that it is just watering down like this. And then I ask myself after some time, am I hallucinating or am I actually seeing this in front of my eyes? Because that vision was something so different. Swami and the whole aura around him like this, glittering like this, and I'm seeing that. I get a Divyavani right inside my head, right inside, not outside, right inside. And the answer is, I am God and I'm showing this to you. I fall right there in front of everybody at his feet like Sashtang Namaskar. I just fall at his feet. Nobody's understanding what is happening. I'm just falling at his feet. After that, Swami blesses me. I get up, I sit back. And then after about 15-20 minutes, satsang finishes, Swami goes. Everybody's asking me, what happened? Why were you crying? Then I told them what happened, because nobody knows what happened. Only I know what happened. And that whole watery eyes that happened, everybody was seeing. And nobody could realize until I told what I actually saw. So that was the first experience and the message that Swami gave me. I'm God and I'm showing this to you. There was another experience in the same year, and this was a dream. In the dream, I'm seeing that, and it was not probably this lifetime. In a previous lifetime, I go to Nepal. And Nepal at that time, wherever I go, is where Swami is staying, and his ashram is not on a normal land. It is on a hillock, and it is snowing and storming there, and I'm somehow reaching that place. I reach that place and I then go inside. I see Swami. Swami is sitting and there are other devotees also sitting. Very, very old looking place, but it's like an old cabin. These wooden cabins that can hold the intense cold weather and all of that. Huge, big place. I'm sitting with Swami. Swami is sitting. I'm sitting right under his feet. And we are having satsang and everything. Then as we were talking, Swami moves his hands and he materializes the Sarva Dharma Stupa. The stupa that you see in Prashanti Nilayam, the replica of that same stupa in this height, he just replicates, he is manifesting that and is giving it to me. And I'm now getting up and I'm taking that from him without knowing what it means. And I'm asking Swami, what does this mean? Because I can see the 5 messages there, Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa. And I'm asking Swami, what does this mean? The Swami tells me, Chaitanya ka stampa bano. I take that message, I sit down, Swami then materializes Vibhuti and he materializes Amrit and he gives it to me. I take both and then I am sitting without knowing what to do. Then Swami says, now you do one thing, you eat your dinner and then you can rest. That dream was so intense that I get up from my sleep to know really something like this has happened and if I really got something, because that giving of that Sarva Dharma Stupa was as if like somebody is physically giving it to me in my hands and I'm actually getting it. It was not like a dream, a flash, it was actually like I'm actually receiving it in my physical hands. Then there is another experience where Swami told me, Swami always says, write my words, follow my words. He actually gave it to me through an experience. And he says, Narayan, my words never fail. So these were his words, but how it happened. So Swami had come for the 7th divine visit in April 2017 to Mumbai. And when Swami comes, we all devotees, we sit nights with Swami and we have a lot of satsang, a lot of fun. You know how it is with Swami, right? So Swami always sits with us through the nights, at least till 12, 1, 2 o'clock and all of that. And all devotees are there. 15, 20 of us sitting in that room and having all that fun with Swami. Now Swami is going from Mumbai to Chikmagalur. Okay, that was the trip plan. One day before going to Chikmagalur, that means that night, Swami tells me, Narayan, you come to today night. So I said, yes, Swami, I'll come. So then after our normal day with Swami and everything, we go back home, eat dinner, and I came back to Sai abode in Borivali, Pratap Bhai's house. At around 8:30, 9 o'clock, I reached there. Every day, about 15 or odd devotees come in the night. But that night, something happened and nobody came. Only I was there. Pratap Bhai was there, Mir was there, Kinnari was there, Pritiji was there, Pratap Bhai's brother's wife was there. Just so many people, and Samin and Amir Bhai. Just so many people were there. And I was waiting for other devotees to come, but nobody came. And then Swami called me inside the room, inside the bedroom where Swami normally rests. And then all of us started having satsang with Swami. Just so many of us. The satsang started. It so happened that one by one, the devotees started. I think first was Amir Bhai, who said, I'm feeling sleepy, and he left. Then slowly, everybody started leaving the room, saying, we are feeling sleepy, we are feeling sleepy. So by 12:30, I think everybody left the room. There were only 2 people left. It was me and Pratap Bhai's brother's daughter. And we were having satsang with Swami for another extended time. And then about close to 4 o'clock. Okay, it was now 4 o'clock in the morning. We are having satsang. She can't stand anymore. She says, I can't sit for even a second. I'm already sleeping when I'm talking here. I'm going to sleep. So then Swami says, Narayan, तुम एक काम करो, तुम भी जाके सो जाओ. 1-2 घंटा आराम करेंगे, फिर 6 बजे को we will leave for the airport because I have to go to Chikmagalur. I said, okay, Swami. So I go out to the hall from the bedroom. And I go there and see that there are 3 ladies sleeping in the hall on the floor. Now I feel very awkward of how I can sleep in the hall when there are 3 ladies sleeping, who I don't know. So I come back to Swami's room and I say, Swami, I will go home and I will come back by 5:30, 6 o'clock so that I can see you off. Swami told me, Narayan, Gar mat jana. You be here only. You sleep there in the sofa. You don't need to sleep down, you sleep in the sofa. I again tell Swami, Swami, I'm more comfortable going home. I will definitely come back to see you at 6 o'clock. So this happens 2-3 times. Then Swami doesn't tell me anything. So I go back to that room. I try to make an attempt to sleep. but I can't sleep. So what I do is, Swami's room door gets closed, right? His bedroom door gets closed slightly. So then I said, I will open the door myself and I will go. And I'll come back at 6 o'clock. So what I do is, I wear my slippers, I open the door. So in Bombay, there are always two doors. There is a main door and there is another door that kind of has got those grills that stand outside, right? So if you have been to Sayabod, you'll know there are those two doors. So I open the first door. The second door is so simple to open that it has only got a lock like this, a twist lock. Nothing else, only a twist lock. So I open the twist lock. The twist lock is turning, but the door is not open. Twist lock is turning, the door is not opening. I again twist, the door is not opening. Then I push the door, I pull the door up and down. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. So I have to be very quiet. Then I wake up Kinari, who's sleeping in that room. Kinari is Meer's wife. Meer is Pratap Bhai's son. She said, Narayan, kya hua? I said, Kinari, darwaja nahi khul raha hai. Because I thought she must have locked it from inside or whatever, something she must have done. She said, darwaja nahi khul raha hai? Arey, उसको खाली नीचे करो खुल जाएगा. मैं बोला किनरी ये तो 1000 बार किया है हमने, ये खाली नीचे करने का होता है, खुलता नहीं है. Then she got up from her sleep. She said, I will open. Then she did this. She was doing the same thing. She's living in that house day in and day out, but the door is not opening. Then the other two ladies also get up. What is happening? They said, door is not happening. I want to go. Then they all get worried. The door is not opening. Then in that commotion, she goes and calls Pratap Bhai, saying the door is not opening. Pratap Bhai comes out of his sleep like this, and you know how he is, right? So then he comes out of his sleep and door is not opening. What are you saying? Abhi khol deta hu. He goes there, he opens the door, not opening. He opens the door, not opening. He tries it many times. He says, I will kick the door open now. Then he starts kicking the door. Right now it's 4 o'clock in the night. I'm telling Pratap Bhai, log so rahe, sab uth jayenge, laat mat maro. He is kicking the door open. The door is not opening. Then slowly Swami comes to that room from inside. And he's looking at all of us and he is smiling. You know how Swami does that naughty smile, right? And he comes smiling and he's holding his hands like this at the back. And he stands right in, among us. Now we are all, now suddenly Pratap Bhai stops. We are all like this, 1, 2, 3, 4 and Swami. So we are all like this. Everything stopped. Swami said, kya hua Narayan? मैं बोला स्वामी दरवाजा नहीं खुल रहा है. तो स्वामी सेड, नारायण बहुत अच्छा हो गया, अभी तो हम इधर रात भर सत्संग करेंगे, कल चिकमंगलूर भी नहीं जा सकते हैं, कल भी बैठकर इधर पूरा सत्संग करेंगे. तो आई सेड, स्वामी आपका टिकट बुक है, आप जा रहे हो चिकमंगलूर, आपको पता है, you will go tomorrow to Chikmagalur. Because I didn't want to become the reason for Swami not to go. Then Swami moved his hands back up like this and he said, Narayan, my words never fail. It struck me like that thing that he told me not to go and I tried to go, right? He was stopping me from something else, whatever it might be. He was stopping me from something. So I said, okay, Swami. Then Swami said, Sab log so jao, everybody go to sleep. I am taking Narayan inside with me in the room. He and I will have a separate one-to-one satsang. And then I will take him in my hands and I put him on the bed here and make him go to sleep. So everybody went to sleep. Then I had a one-to-one satsang with Swami from that 4:15 or whatever time till 5:15. We were talking all fun and everything. He didn't discuss anything. We were talking all fun. And then he said, Narayan, abhi 1 घंटा बाकी है निकलने में. तुम भी थोड़ा आराम कर लो, मैं भी आराम कर लेता हूँ. जाके सो जाओ. मैं बोला, स्वामी सोफा में जाके सो जाऊंगा. So I went there, I went in the sofa, I went to sleep. Next day morning, we did the Mangal Aarti and Swami left for Chikmagalur. But that was a clear message. My words never fail. Next day morning, 6 o'clock, the devotees come to do the Mangal Aarti to send off Swami. Andar se Kinari gives the key to Gopal Mama, who opens the door from outside, and the door opens. So the door has got locked in the night, so that I should not go. Okay. So that was the other message. Then we got an opportunity in the same year to be with Swami during Diwali for 7 days. Sanchita was there with us. So Shilpa, Abhishek, I, the three of us, Sanchita, and Jalpan. The 5 of us that were there with Swami for 7 days in Diwali, October 2017. Ask Sanchita how that experience was. In that 7 days, we went out only 2 times. One for half a day for some sightseeing for 5-6 hours. Another day for 2 hours in the night to go to eat pizza. Other than that, we were all the time in the ashram, and we were not by ourselves. Swami के साथ सत्संग हुआ हमारा daily 8 to 10 hours. Every day. Swami used to come. We used to have satsang. He used to. And how was this satsang really happening? Abhishek had, we had questions. Abhishek had questions. So it was like asking a question and Swami giving an answer and giving examples. It was not just fun. It was real Divya Gyan with a lot of examples, references, everything. The day we were leaving, Swami came us to see off at the gate and send us off in the car. So I told Swami, I was so moved. I told Swami, I came here. When I came here, I was actually in my mind thinking, I will seek Brahma Gyan from you. But what I got is much beyond that. In that satsang, he also told me that, Narayan, you will never get Brahma Gyan. And he gave me that story about Ved Vyas. I think everybody knows that. He gave me the story about Ved Vyas seeking Brahma Gyan from Brahma and all of that. So he said, Brahma Gyan is not something that you can get. And later on, in another instance, he told me that as an avatar, I am not supposed to even give Brahma Gyan to anybody. But he said, what you have got is तुम्हें 7 जन्मों का ज्ञान मिला है इस 7 दिन में. इसको जियो. He said, I've given you knowledge of 7 lives. So live this. Abhishek has, and Swami in that 7 days, Swami used to refer Abhishek as Chitragupt, because he used to make notes of everything that Swami, the same day, finish everything. He used to make a full complete note of everything. He can repeat that whole, and he created a separate note of that for some 12-13 pages. He sent it to Sanchita also, and he can say that whole thing without even seeing. He could do that. So that it was question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. So beautiful. There is another experience I had with Swami. This is out of body experience.
Yeah. Excuse me, Brother Narayan. In 10 minutes time, we will complete Sai Mahima and then go for bhajans. Okay? Yes, carry on. Sai Ram.
So in another experience, I got a real life, and it was an out of body experience. So this happened in my 49th, when I completed my 49th year. I completed that December 22nd, 2017. 23rd, this happens to me on the 23rd. So 23rd, we went to sleep, Shilpa and I and Abhishek, around 11:15. I then get up after about 10 minutes because I wanted to go to washroom. I don't switch on the light. I just go to the washroom in our bedroom. So I'm sitting on the commode like this, Western style. Light is not on. I have not switched on the light. Suddenly what happens is, I realize that my soul has left me. because now I can see myself not as I'm sitting in my physical form, but outside of me. So I'm seeing me from outside. But I'm also seeing that my soul is not leaving my body. It is as if like the soul wants to go, but something is holding it back in the body. So I feel that stretch. I can clearly see it. And my whole, there's like an aura around me, about 6-8 inches from me like this. And I'm seeing it from here all through me, my entire structure. And one side is pulling, the other side is pulling like this. And it is causing a lot of agony. Usko Hindi mein bolte hain pida. Lot of pida, lot of agony. That moment is happening. And I don't know what is happening. I'm looking at all of this from the outside. I get a Divya Vani right inside my head. It says, Narayan, this is what happens when you die. If at this moment you cannot remember me, then I cannot be with you after this. For me to be with you in this time, you have to practice a lifetime of Namasmarana. Only then in this pida, you can remember me. It is that moment. The moment that Divyavani finished, thap, like this, the Divyavani finished, thap, I'm back. I'm not one. Then I realize what has happened. I get up, I go back to sleep. I'm feeling very different and very awkward, as if like it is not me. I'm in a different, I don't know what, but I go to sleep. But after that, for 2 days, anything that I ate, even water or anything, never lasted in me for 2 days. It was like in, out, in, out, in, out in all forms. And I was feeling so different those 2 days. Then I came back to normal. Now what happened is I narrated this experience to Amma when I met her in Ahmedabad after I think about 2 weeks or something. When I narrated this to her for the first time, she said, say it again. Then she started looking at something and she said, you just completed 49. You have not become 50. She said about 20-25 years ago, when they were living in Coimbatore, she had met with an astrologer who told her that you have 2 sons and one of your son will not live to see 50 years of age. That is your destiny. She said, what has happened is you've just got a real life. And in that year, so this happened in December. No, this happened, yes, December, 23rd December 2017. And in that year, Swami said, when we went in January to Nepal for the birthday, that was the first time I've heard Swami saying that if I so choose, I can give a life, 1 second or 2 seconds of my life to anybody, which might mean 10 years or so for that person. He didn't tell me, he didn't tell anything. He was just in a discourse, he made that statement. He said that. So this was about Namasmarana, what Namasmarana really means. Now I will finish with last one. Okay. And this is where I had a Sai Trai Darshan, which means I saw in physical form Swami, Shirdi Sai Swami, and Satya Sai Swami all together. This happens again in a dream. And I dream that now I am in the ashram with Swami, same, our Vrindavan ashram in Kathmandu. I and Swami are sitting. We are having satsang. There is nobody else. We have satsang for a long time. And this goes on, this dream has gone for a lot of time in the night. And then I tell Swami, Swami, I have tried practicing a lot of what you said, but I'm not able to really understand what pure love really is, like how you have. I'm not able to understand that. I'm not able to get that. What does that really mean? What should I do as a devotee? Swami said, you have to go very, very deep inside your heart. And through that sadhana, you have to find your Atma Lingam. And once you find your Atma Lingam, you have to love that Atma Lingam like nothing else in the world. You have to create that love for your Atma Lingam like nothing else in the world. When you do that, then you will understand what divine love is, and then it will start flowering through your eyes. He said, Narayan, you have reached that stage, now start practicing that. I said, okay, Swami. Then I thought it was over. Then suddenly Swami said, Narayan, time आ गया है सबको दिखाने को कि तीनों साई एक ही है, हम तीन एक हैं, चलो. Okay, he took me and we walked all the way from there, from the ashram room, all the way to the main hall. Swami then went on the stage and I sat right in front of Swami, here like this, in the floor, like where we sit. When I sit and I look like this, I saw the live forms of all the three sais, not picture, live, really standing, all in the Abhyasta form and waving and blessing everybody. Swami on the left in orange robe, Shirdi Sai Swami on the center in white robe, and Satya Sai Swami on the right on orange robe. All of them, Satya Sai Swami doing this, Swami doing this, Shirdi Sai doing this, and real flesh. I'm actually seeing all of them like this. And this is going on for such a long time. I don't want to lose that vision. I'm seeing. It is getting seeping inside me. And then the alarm rings at 6 o'clock. So what I do is I switch off the alarm. There's a glass right next to me. I drink the glass of water. The vision is so deep, I don't want to miss it. At least I'm thinking I'll go back to at least think about what that vision was looking like. I go back and within a second, I'm off to sleep again. The dream starts back again from exactly where I left. And it continues all the way until 7 o'clock when Shilpa comes and wakes me and saying, Aaj kya ho gaya? Itna der kyun ho gaya sote hue? She wakes me up at 7 o'clock. So from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I've been seeing that vision. And probably at least many times, a lot of time before 6 o'clock, I was seeing that vision. And then I told Shilpa what happened. So I have narrated this experience even in the ashram in front of everybody when in one of the, I think it was in Guru Purnima, when I spoke in front of everybody and I narrated this experience. So there are many more, but in the interest of time, I will stop. My experiences, so all of Swami with experiences, he has given me messages. And every message has a narration. And every message has an experience. Teach me what the message means. And I have tried from 2015 until now, until today. And I will do going forth. I will do my best. My family, Shilpa and I, will do our best to live his words, to make our Guru proud. He says, your life is my message. I hope one day he says, Narayan, you have lived that message. You and your family have lived that message. I know that day is not today. I'm still very far away from that. But I hope before I go or he has to take samadhi, he tells me that Narayan, you will live this. That's it. Sir.
Loving Koti Pranams at the divine lotus feet of our dearest Bhagwan. What an inspiring experiences. And this talk has not come from the head to head. It is from the heart to heart. Because anything that comes from the heart goes into the hearts of others. And I'm 100% sure that Brother Narayan's talk has not only touched him or touched God, but it has touched everybody. And through his talk, he has also, through his experiences, he has shown that how he was living with God, living in God, and living for God. It is not only Sabari and Meera who has done that great thing. As normal devotees, we also have undergone, and Narayan has undergone many such experiences beautifully. So when God is there, why fear? Because he is holding each and every devotee, like the mother holds the child, the God is holding each and every devotee. Nobody can say, I am close or that person is far. Swami always says, nearness is not dearness, and farness is not far away. All are near, all are dear, and all are very close to my heart. And it's so wonderful to hear many things, because I'm listening for the first time few experiences that he has told. Many things I have heard from Brother Narayan in the ashram, and may Bhagwan bless Narayan, Shilpa, and Abhishek. Let them be blessed with Ayul, Arogyam, and Ashta Aishwaryam always. And it's really, like beautiful to listen to Sai Mahima, because through those experiences, they make us also to realize and live and transform. And again, transform, realize, and live. Everything happens. So, Jai Jai Sai Ram to Brother Narayan for your wonderful, talk from the heart directly. We shall begin with our bhajans today. May God bless you, Narayan.
Sai
Sai Gajanana Dinavana Sai Gajanana Dinavana Sinduravadana Sritachana Palana Sinduravadana Sridhajana Palana Sai Gajanana Dinavana Ambigatanaya Maradishvara Ambigatanaya Maradishvara Aganita Guna Gana Ananda Dayaka Aganita Guna Gana Ananda Dayaka Sai Gajanana Dinavana Sai Gajanana Dinavana Sinduravadana Sridhajana Palana Sai Gajanana Dinavana Ambigatanaya Maradishvara Aganita Guna Ganananda Dayaka Aganita Guna Ganananda Dayaka Sai Gajanana Dinavana. Sairam.
Bhajan.
गुरु मेरी पूजा, गुरु संजय बाबा, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्मा, गुरु भगवंत, गुरु मेरी पूजा, गुरु संजय बाबा, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्मा, गुरु भगवंत, गुरु मेरा देवो अलख अबेऊ, गुरु मेरा देवो अलख अबेऊ, सर्व पूजा चरण गुरु सेवू, सर्व पूजा चरण गुरु सेवो, गुरु मेरी पूजा, गुरु संजय बाबा, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्मा, गुरु भगवंत, गुरु मेरी पूजा, गुरु संजय बाबा, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्मा, गुरु भगवंत, गुरु का दर्शन देख देख जीवा, गुरु का दर्शन देख देख जीवा, गुरु के चरण धोए धोए पीवा, गुरु के चरण धोए धोए पीवा, गुरु बिन अवर नहीं में जाओ, गुरु बिन अवर नहीं में जाओ, अन दिन जपो गुरु गुरु नाम, हर दिन जपो गुरु 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 नाम, गुरु मेरी पूजा, गुरु संजय बाबा, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्मा, गुरु भगवंत, गुरु मेरा ज्ञान, गुरु हृदय ध्यान, गुरु मेरा ज्ञान, गुरु हृदय ध्यान, गुरु गोपाल पुरख भगवान, गुरु गोपाल पुरख भगवान, गुरु मेरी पूजा, गुरु संजय बाबा, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्मा, गुरु भगवंत, गुरु मेरी पूजा, गुरु संजय बाबा, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्मा, गुरु भगवंत, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्मा, गुरु भगवंत, गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्मा, गुरु भगवंत। साई राम।
रक्ष रक्ष जगन्माता, सर्वशक्ति जय दुर्गा, रक्ष रक्ष जगन्माता, सर्वशक्ति जय दुर्गा, मंगलवारम சொல்லிடவே மங்கள கண்டிக்க இதை 9 வாரம் சொல்லுவதாலே உமையவர் திருவருள் சேரும் இதை 9 வாரம் சொல்லுவதாலே உமையவள் திருவருள் சேரும். உமையவள் திருவருள் சேரும். ரக்ஷ ரக்ஷ ஜெகன்மாதா சர்வசக்தி ஜெய துர்கா. ரக்ஷ ரக்ஷ ஜெகன்மாதா சர்வசக்தி ஜெய துர்கா. படைப்பவளவளே காப்பவளவளே அழிப்பவளவளே சக்தி. அபயம் என்று அவளை சரண் புகுந்தாலே அடைக்கலம் அவளே சக்தி. படைப்பவளவளே காப்பவளவளே அழிப்பவளவளே சக்தி. அபயம் என்று அவளே சரண் புகுந்தாலே அடைக்கலம் அவளே சக்தி. ஜெய ஜெய சங்கரி கௌரி மனோகரி அபயமளிப்பவளம்பிகை பைரவி. சிவ சிவ சங்கரி சக்தி மகேஸ்வரி திருவருள் தருவாள் தேவி. திருவருள் தருவாள் தேவி. ரக்ஷ ரக்ஷ ஜெகன்மாதா சர்வசக்தி ஜெய துர்கா. ரக்ஷ ரக்ஷ ஜெகன்மாதா சர்வசக்தி ஜெய துர்கா. கருணையில் கங்கை கண்ணனை கடை கண் திறந்தால் போதும். வருகின்ற யோகம் மழை பொழிவாள் நாளும். கருணையில் கங்கை கண்ணனின் தங்கை கடை கண் திறந்தால் போதும். வருகின்ற யோகம் பொழிவாள் நாள். நீல நிறத்தொடு ஞானமளந்தவள் தாலியன திரிசூலம் எடுத்தவள். பக்தருக்கெல்லாம் பாதை மகுத்தவள். நாமம் சொன்னால் நன்மை தருபவள். நாமம் சொன்னால் நன்மை தருபவள். ரக்ஷ ரக்ஷ ஜெகன்மாதா சர்வசக்தி ஜெய துர்கா. ரக்ஷ ரக்ஷ ஜெகன்மாதா சர்வசக்தி ஜெய துர்கா. சர்வசக்தி ஜெய துர்கா. சர்வசக்தி ஜெய துர்கா. சாய்ராம்.
हर गंग जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजामन रमणा.
हर गंग जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजामन रमणा.
शिव मृत्युंजय महादेव महेश्वर मंगल शुभ चरणा.
शिव मृत्युंजय महादेव महेश्वर मंगल शुभ चरणा.
नंदिवाहना नागभूषणा.
नंदिवाहना नागभूषणा.
निरुपम गुण सदना साई.
निरुपम गुण सदना साई.
नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ साई.
नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ साई.
नीरज दल नयना.
नीरज दल नयना.
नीरज दल नयना.
नीरज दल नयना.
हर गंग जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजामन रमणा.
हर गंग जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजामन रमणा.
शिव मृत्युंजय महादेव महेश्वर मंगल शुभ चरणा.
शिव मृत्युंजय महादेव महेश्वर मंगल शुभ चरणा.
नंदिवाहना नागभूषणा.
नंदिवाहना नागभूषणा.
निरुपम गुण सदना साई.
निरुपम गुण सदना साई.
नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ हरि.
नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ
साई नीरज दल नयना नीरज दल नयना नीरज दल नयना नीरज दल नयना हर गंगा जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजामन रमणा साई राम
राम श्री रामचंद्र जय जय राम राम श्री रामचंद्र जय जय राम करुणा विराम कमनीय राम करुणा विराम कमनीय राम राम श्री रामचंद्र जय जय राम कोदंड राम कल्याण राम कोदंड राम कल्याण राम शरणागत परिपालन श्री चरण राम शरणागत परिपालन श्री चरण राम राम श्री राम साई राम राम श्री राम साई राम समर विजय राम साकेत राम समर विजय राम साकेत राम राम श्री रामचंद्र जय जय राम करुणा विराम कमनीय राम राम श्री रामचंद्र जय जय राम कोदंड राम कल्याण राम शरणागत परिपालन श्री चरण राम राम श्री राम साई राम समर विजय राम साकेत राम समर विजय राम साकेत राम राम रामचंद्र जय जय राम हरे राम
नारायण नारायण भजो मन नारायण भजो मन नारायण श्री हरि माधव नारायण श्री हरि माधव नारायण भजो मन नारायण मुरली श्याम मोहन श्याम मुरली मोहन श्याम मेरे राम ये घन श्याम साई सद्गुरु नाम मेरे राम ये घन श्याम साई सद्गुरु नाम नारायण नारायण भजो मन नारायण 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 भजो मन नारायण श्री हरि माधव नारायण भजो मन नारायण श्री हरि माधव नारायण भजो मन नारायण मुरली श्याम मोहन श्याम मुरली मोहन श्याम मेरे राम ये घन श्याम साई सद्गुरु राम मेरे राम ये घन श्याम साई सद्गुरु नाम नारायण नारायण भजो मन नारायण साई राम
ओम साई राम साई मेरो आत्मा साई परमात्मा मेरो आदि सबैतिम रोहात्मा साई मेरो आत्मा साई परमात्मा मेरो आदि अन्त सबै तिम्रो हातमा यहाँ पाएँ मैले नाता अनेक यहाँ पाएँ मैले नाता अनेक तर आए तिमी मात्रै एक तर आफ्नो पाए तिमी मात्रै एक तिमी मेरो आशा मेरो भरोसा तिमी मेरो आशा मेरो भरोसा तिमी मेरो विश्वास तिमी नै सहारा तिमी मेरो विश्वास तिमी नै सहारा साई मेरो आत्मा साई परमात्मा मेरो आदि अन्त सबै तिम्रो हातमा साई मेरो आत्मा साई परमात्मा यहाँ पाएँ मैले नाता अनेक तर आफ्नो पाएँ तिमी मात्र एक तिमी मेरो आशा मेरो भरोसा तिमी मेरो विश्वास तिमी नै सहारा तिमी मेरो विश्वास तिमी नै सहारा साई मेरो आत्मा ओम साई राम
पद्मनाभा नारायणा
पद्मनाभा नारायणा
प्रतिवासा नारायणा
प्रतिवासा नारायणा
शिर्डीवासा नारायणा
शिर्डीवासा नारायणा
नारायण साई नारायण
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 नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
पद्मनाभा नारायण
पद्मनाभा नारायण
प्रतिवासा नारायण
प्रतिवासा नारायण
शिर्डीवासा नारायण
शिर्डीवासा नारायण
नारायण साई 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 नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण
पद्मनाभ नारायण
ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे नाम, साई तेरे नाम, सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई राम, सत्य साई राम, अल्लाह साई, मौला साई, येसु बुद्ध साई, हे महावीर साई, गोविंद साई, गोपाल साई, नानक साई, सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई राम, सत्य साई राम, अल्लाह साई, मौला साई, अल्लाह साई, मौला साई, ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे नाम, साई तेरे नाम, सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई राम, सत्य साई राम, अल्लाह साई, मौला साई, येसु बुद्ध साई, हे महावीर साई, गोविंद साई, गोपाल साई, नानक साई, सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई राम, सत्य साई राम, अल्लाह साई, मौला साई, अल्लाह साई, मौला साई, ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे नाम, साई तेरे नाम, सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई राम, सत्य साई राम, साई राम।
राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की, 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 राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की।
Oh. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Oh, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
जय संजय बाबा, ओम जय संजय बाबा। सत्य सनातन निर्मल, सत्य सनातन निर्मल, हे जग के दाता। ओम जय संजय बाबा। सुमधुर सुंदर वैभव कमल दले क्षण हे, स्वामी कमल दले क्षण हे। काषायाम्बर धारण, काषायाम्बर धारण, पंकज चरण नमो। ओम जय संजय बाबा। परंधाम परमेश्वर परमानंद नमो, स्वामी परमानंद नमो। परम पूज्य साईश्वर, परम पूज्य साईश्वर, आत्मानंद नमो। ओम जय संजय बाबा। लक्ष्मी नारायण मूर्ति शुभदायक भगवान, स्वामी शुभदायक भगवान। सकल जगत के रक्षक, सकल जगत के रक्षक, मंगलकर प्रभु हे। ओम जय संजय बाबा। ओम जय संजय बाबा। ओम जय संजय बाबा। सत्य सनातन निर्मल, सत्य सनातन निर्मल, हे जग के दाता। ओम जय संजय बाबा। ओम जय संजय बाबा। ओम जय संजय बाबा।
समस्त जीवा सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त जीवा सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्त जीवा सुखिनो भवन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। राजाधिराज योगिराज सच्चिदानंद परब्रह्म भगवान श्री संजय साई बाबा जी की आरोग्य प्रदाय अष्ट ऐश्वर्यदाय वृंदावन धाम की राजा भगवान श्री संजय साई बाबा जी की भगवान श्री संजय साई बाबा जी की शरण पर स्वामी स्वम शरणम मम।
साईराम साईराम साईराम
साईराम
साईराम
शरण पर स्वामी त्वं शरणं मम।
साईराम साईराम
शरण पर स्वामी स्वम शरणम मम।
Koti pranam Swami, Tam Sharanam Mama.
Sai Ram, Tam Sharanam Mama.
Koti
Koti
pranam,
pranam.
Sai Ram.
Koti koti pranam, tam sharanam mama Baba.
Jai Bhagwan Baba, Tam Sharanam Mama.